What is up, everybody? My name is Andrew, and welcome back to Space Engineers Survival. This is episode number 52, and things have changed a lot. Last week, on Monday, I believe, is when the Apex Survival update came out, and with that, a lot has changed with survival, and I have enabled almost everything in this world. So all of the food stuff is enabled. We're at 72% food right there, you'll see. All of the buffs are enabled, so the longer we survive, the more buffs we'll have right here, and if we die, we'll be reset, and we won't have those buffs. We have radiation enabled, but we do not have, the only thing we don't have enabled is solar radiation. So we're not taking radiation from just being in the sun, and we're not going to enable that in this series, but perhaps we'll enable that in the next series if we want an extra challenge. But anyways, yes, so that stuff is in here, and that's why in this episode we're going to be trying to deal with that, because we have our food that's slowly ticking down, and eventually we're going to have to find a way to eat. Also in this episode, I would like to build a fighter ship. I think we've probably been waiting too long on that. So in this episode, we're gonna be trying to get some food sorted out and also get a fighter ship built that uses hydrogen. And maybe if we need to, we'll fly down in the fighter ship to the alien planet to grab some mushrooms or something like that, because we don't have any seeds, which is a problem. Now, at the end of last episode, there was a time lapse where I was destroying the ships that attacked us, the two Armageddon ships that attacked us with the build and repair system. What I didn't notice was that on one of the ships was actually a data pad. So we're gonna go ahead and read that just so we have some context for what happened. The subject is Standing Orders Update. To all security commanders, you are hereby ordered to be on high alert for any sighting of the ship AMG Solarstorm, which, by the way, joke's on them, we're now called the Solarstorm. It and its captain have become an expensive annoyance and can no longer be tolerated. To the ship commander that brings proof of destruction will receive a sizable reward. Man, okay. They can chase that reward at their own peril, because we're not just gonna go quietly. Emergency update, primary tasking to commanders of the Anzio and Tonga, which are the two ships that attacked us. We have reported location of Snowstorm. Proceed at full haste and intercept it. Secondary tasking, recover nano manufacturing system from pallet. Our engineers need to study its operation. Okay, so that actually proves that they were after the nanotechnology from the Star Shredder, which we now have on board our ship. So the nanotechnology, just as a recap, is the build and repair system that we have stolen and is now aboard our ship right here. So if they weren't angry at us before, they're now very, very angry at us, because we not only are being an annoyance, we also have the nanotechnology that they so desire. Anyhow, with that little bit of lore crossed off, I think we should start on what we plan to do in this episode, which is starting off with building the food stuff. So I actually, while I was, repairing or redoing a little bit of the snowstorm, we did redo this area a tiny bit, and this particular area has been increased in size a lot. And I think what we're gonna end up doing is removing this completely and replacing this with a farm. So we're gonna turn this area into a little farm. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's got windows, it's fully pressurized. We are missing a vent in here, but it is protected in pressurization because we do have, this door right here, which the pressurization, there's no exterior door here. Also over there's no exterior door, so this room would have to be depressurized before we could even think about depressurizing this one. And kind of the same on that side right there. So it's a pretty good place in the ship to actually, sort this out. Now, I guess we can place blocks here, which is good, because we can maybe do the farm right there. But the problem is, of course, we don't have any seeds right now. So we're gonna need to find seeds, and we can do that at encounters. I don't know what the encounters will look like, but they did add a lot more space encounters in the last update, so we can look out for that. But for starters, we're gonna wanna set up some sort of algae farm. So let's go over here and let's find a place to set up some sort of little algae farm. Now, this isn't a base, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to create like an algae farm that'll actually turn to focus or to face the sun, but we could potentially stick some, I don't know, here and here. Well, maybe here and here. 1, 2, 3, like that. Kind of blocks the sight for everything else. It's worth noting as well that I do have the DLC, which is giving us the half algae farm if we want to use it. So let me just put these on our hotbar so we can see what we're trying to build here. If you haven't seen anything with the Apex Survival Update, I did put out a video showcasing everything that's new in it, but if you haven't seen that, the new food stuff means that you have to actually, worry about your food bar, and one of the ways you can do that, one of the early ways, the easy ways, is with an algae farm. So we have this algae farm that works very similarly to an oxygen farm, which means it wants to be facing the sun, which is kind of why I'm thinking of putting it like right here. But we also have a small algae farm that we could think about placing instead. Okay, here is an idea. We could put them along this side right here, because this is where our... Technically put them like that. This is where our little farm's gonna go, so it kind of makes sense for them to have little algae farms right there. But I'm thinking what we could also do is stick one right here, and then one right here, maybe? Or right there, even. Yeah, I'm thinking we stick one right there, and then we don't really have anywhere else we can put one. But maybe I'll just put, like, a heavy armor dude right here. Maybe something like that right there. So that gives us 2 algae farms right here. And actually, you know what? Here's what we can do. Oh, by the way, someone in the comments told me that if I go into the build and repair system, there's a volume modifier. And there is. We're going to turn that way down because it's very, very loud. But what I want to do is I think we're going to remove this block right here. And we're going to remove this right here. And we're going to replace it right there. Boom. And we're going to take this one and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put these in here so we don't have a full inventory here. Oh, we're out of energy. Get inside. There should be some energy we can grab in here. Wherever this thing is. You know what? There's a bed. It's fine. We'll sleep in the bed for a second. There we go. Just to replenish our energy a little bit. All right, that's what we're gonna do right there, I think. The only problem is that then we have to route these somewhere. All right, the build and repair is working on that stuff right there, but we have our connection here, so we should now have those connected. I need to do the same thing on the other side, although before I do, let me run through here real quick and add back the block that I took out from here. So that's gonna be a heavy armor block. And with that, that'll be at least a little bit of protection for those. Okay, so you guys should now be producing some algae. Very good. And let's do the same thing on the other side. All right, there we go. We're gonna let the nanites build those up as well, but there are other algae farms right there. So we only have 50% food right now, which means it's probably about time to work on building a kelp crisp or two. So let's see real quick, if we go in here, let's look at our algae. Algae, perfect. Okay, we have a little bit of algae built up, so I'm gonna go ahead and collect as much of that as I can. And then we need to go ahead and build ourselves a food processor, which I don't know where we wanna put that. Maybe we'll put that down close to where we're gonna put our seeds. I think that would be a good place for it. So just out of curiosity, where are our closest connections? We do have connection right there going there. We do have connection over there also. So maybe what I wanna do is remove this guy.
Inventory full.
Sad that we're removing a gyro, but it'll be for the best. We're going to take this block right here. We're gonna convert that into a junction. All right, and then right here, we should be able to stick our food processor. So let's right click that, and the nanites might go ahead and build that for us before we can get it. Never mind, we get to build it. Nice, and so this right here is the new food processor that allows us to convert, you know, stuff like algae into stuff like kelp crisp. So if I go into the food processor, it's gonna require 4 algae to make 1 kelp crisp. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that 1 kelp crisp, and we're gonna let that ride. Also, what I'll do actually is I'll stick a couple of kelp crisps on here so that whenever we get enough algae, it'll automatically pull into here and make us a kelp crisp. So let's grab that kelp crisp right there. And since our food's down to 47 now, I'm gonna go ahead and eat that. That's gonna increase our food a little bit. So as time goes on, this will increase, give us more kelp crisps and that sort of thing. But the main idea is that we would like to build some sort of farm in here. And what I'm thinking initially for this is, let's remove this stuff because we're gonna remove this entire room. We're gonna completely redo this. So all of this stuff can go. This is like a flash sale. It all must go. I'm gonna throw this stuff in there. Actually, I don't think I can. Go down here, I guess. Thinking what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that conveyor right there and I'm gonna turn this into, see, I almost wanna do another, I guess I'll do a T-junction, that makes sense. All right, there we go. That's gonna be our little supply thing. But then I'm gonna remove these heavy armor blocks as well, I think, and I'm gonna put our water source in here. All right, so irrigation system, this is a required block for basically everything that is connected to your farm. Because in order to make a farm in Space Engineers, you need to be able to water your plots. So we're gonna need these irrigation systems to exist. I think I'm gonna put back some heavy armor right there. And I think I'm fine with that. But the irrigation system, we're gonna stick right here. And I think it's got, no, it does not have a connection there. So we're gonna have to turn it that way. Now this does have connections on the top, which means you could use this for your farm plot base, but we're not going to. We're just gonna put it right here because I think that looks pretty good. And then we're gonna put our farm plots along this. So all this heavy armor, this is gonna be tricky because that means it's not gonna be as defended if I do it like that, huh? I'm gonna throw a second irrigation system right there so we have 1 on each side, and I think that's gonna be a good start. And then we're gonna start our farm right here. So all these blocks we're gonna remove and we're gonna replace these with conveyor blocks, which are required for the farm. I almost wonder if I want to replace how I do this as well, because the way it's set up, I wouldn't be able to have a farm there. But I wouldn't really be able to have one anyway because of how this is done. So never mind, it's fine. All right, behold the groundwork for the farm. I've put a couple of extra doors in here just in case, but also what I'm gonna do is I'm going to throw in a couple of actual farm plots. So farm, if I can spell farm properly, there we go. So these are our farm plots and we're gonna stick them around here. So let's get a couple of them in our plot thing, or in our build planner. I'm gonna put one there, one there, one there, one there. Same thing on this other side, and then over here, a couple of extras, just like that. So we'll have a little bit, I'm not gonna put one right there because then we wouldn't be able to walk around, but we have a little bit of room we can walk. I don't wanna put one here because that is the exterior block and I would like that to be a defense, like a defensible block. So we just have this kind of modest farm right here, which we can sort of work with. Now, that is a heavy armor block. What I'm gonna do is completely remove that. And then with those areas, I'm gonna go ahead and stick a full vent, not one of those, just one of these nice ones right here. Put the thing up at the top, and same on this side right there. And those are gonna be our vents for this farm room. Now, what we can use here is we can actually start planting things if we want to, but I don't have anything to plant, which means we need to actually go and find stuff to plant. And I know I can find stuff to plant on the planets if I want to go and forage, or I can go to an encounter, like maybe that military escort, or possibly even the merchant over there, or that military encounter. I don't know. Let's get out of here. It's very bright and it's very flashy, so I'm sorry for that. But let's also, while we're here, let's hop in here and grab some of these kelp crisps. It's made another 4, because again, this is making it automatically as we get the algae for it. So we've got another 4 kelp crisp, and I'm gonna go ahead and eat some of those as well, just so we can get our food level up. But I would like to delve into the realm of haute cuisine, as the French would say, so that we can make things like steak dinners, frontier stew, curry, flatbread, garden slaw, you know, some of this stuff that requires vegetables, fruit, more than just algae, I think would be nice. So to that end, let's go into our little area over here. And actually, let me make sure that this is now, yep, this is vented. Let me make sure that this room is vented also. I want to make sure that this is giving us yep, it's giving us pressurization. Very good. I guess we can make this look a little bit nicer even with something like this. There we go. That ends up looking even nicer with these little walkways right there. So I think our little farm room is now perfectly ready for putting crops in once we actually get them. So let's go ahead and make our way over to where we're going to build our fighter, and we're going to start working on that. What I would also like to do is aim myself toward the alien planet, because I'd like to get a little bit close there so that once we have our fighter, if we decide we want to go down to the alien planet to grab some goodies, we can do that. Are you not pressurized, by the way? No, you are pressurized. Just because I opened up the door to the main area. That would be why. Okay. But you might not be pressurized. Yeah, you're not pressurized. Why are you not pressurized? You should be. Is that still? Okay, now this is pressurized. It just took me a second. I had to put in this conveyor right here to block the air from getting out, but it's now pressurized, so we're good in there. Perfect. All right, let's move our way toward the alien planet, and we're gonna build this thing as we move toward the alien planet. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn ourselves this way. Where? Okay, there's the alien planet. All right, we're gonna aim ourselves in that direction. I do not wanna actually go into the orbit of, or I don't actually wanna go onto the planet. I'd just like to get close to it. So I'm gonna aim myself this way, I think. We're just gonna give ourselves a little bit of speed and then, you know, slow down. And then if we ever notice ourselves start to get into gravity, we'll come back here and fix it, I guess. I don't know. All right, as we're traveling here and not actually controlling the thing, because we're gonna be messing with the stuff, I do have a thing right here that's going to turn on an alarm if we enter any sort of gravity. So if we actually get close enough to that alien planet and the gravity changes, it is going to turn on an alarm and warn us. It's gonna start freaking out, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm gonna give us some positive speed here, probably around 100 or something like that. And I don't know how far away the alien planet is from us. Okay, let's get down to the hangar and let's start working on this new hydrogen-enabled fighter ship. And this is probably gonna be similar to the Falcon that we had. I need to figure out what the Falcon looked like. All right, this is our setup right here. So I'm thinking we can actually just go into the projector and try building the Falcon, because the Falcon was a good ship and we would like to have one. We have the Falcon Mark 1 Alt. Falcon Mark 1. I think that would do pretty well. So that's the Falcon. It's got lots of weapons. I don't really remember much about the Falcon, but I do see that it is, you know, capable of working in space because it's got the hydrogen thrusters, which means we could also potentially take it down onto the Earth-like planet. Maybe all it would need is a little modification, adding some storage. But yeah, I think let's build up the Falcon right here. Now, the easiest way for me to do this probably would be using our nanobots, because they do have the ability to handle projections. If I go over here and do build new, that should allow them to start building up that stuff right there, and they can probably build that all for us. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna work for a subgrid, actually. If they don't, we're gonna use the barista. But no, actually, it looks like they are working for the subgrid. So, yeah, we might not actually have to do much. We might just be able to just sit here and let it do its thing. And yeah. Of course, it would go faster if I did use the barista, so let's try this out. Let's get a bunch of things on the barista, and let's see if we can help this out. All right, we do actually have a bunch of random components on the barista already, so we might be able to just help this out here. Let's press number 9. Oh, we're having a little bit of trouble. Hang on. Control Z. Oh, dampener's relative. For some reason, the dampers were not relative when we disconnected, which is a problem. And we destroyed some of that stuff, unfortunately. Whoops. Well, anyway, we can help out as much as we can. So let's go ahead and help out with this, building up as much as we can from the side, and then we're gonna bring our way out a little bit, and it's gonna continue building up for us. Again, I don't know why the dampeners weren't relative when I disconnected there. Usually they do become relative for you. Otherwise, you know, that's naturally gonna happen. You're gonna run into the side of the ship. All right, we're getting a lot of this built up pretty darn quickly. And I'm not surprised because, of course, the barista's welders are pretty powerful. I'm just keeping the welding arm in one place right here, and I don't know how much we're helping, but I think we're helping out a lot, at least with the speed of the welding. So you would be excused if you don't remember the Falcon, by the way. The Falcon is the ship that we had earlier on in the series, and we actually ended up blowing it up because of the, one of the ships, the Kangaroo, I think. We locked the Falcon on top of the Kangaroo, and I think it locked onto one of the turrets or something. And so when it actually like tried to fly away, or when the turret tried to fire or something like that, it blew up the Falcon. And that was how that ended. All right, I think that's enough help from the barista. Let's go ahead and park the barista again. And maybe I'll park the barista back here so that we can get the Falcon in a nicer spot. I think we should be able to back into this spot here. Alrighty, I think everything on here is now fine. The nanites are going to continue to weld up a couple things that are on the inside of the ship that I can't see, which I think is okay. Once it's completely welded and the nanites stop doing anything, we're going to go ahead and connect it to this. I should probably eat another kelp crisp. Actually, I'm curious how many kelp crisps we've accrued since starting this. Let's go over here and check. 8 kelp crisps. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take all those. Thank you very much, because we can definitely use them. Maybe I'll stick a couple of them in here if it allows me. Nope, it does not allow me. I was gonna put like 3 emergency kelp crisps in there, just in case. But anyway, here's our little emergency cockpit. And we are getting closer to the planet, I think. Whoa! Where did you come from? Almost looks like a little spider floating around. Okay, this guy needs to turn off. I need to set all my thrusters on here real quick. All right, and I think everything has stopped welding on this as well. The only problem is it doesn't have any ice. So we kind of need to give it ice before it's going to be able to do anything, because it's not going to be able to fly to there. It does have an O2H2 generator, so it would be able to handle its own stuff. But here, let me turn this off. But we need to give it a little bit of ice before it can do anything. So let's aim ourselves toward an asteroid so we can look for some ice, because I don't think we have any more on the ship. Yep, we are completely empty of all ice. Asteroid right there might have some ice. Does that look like ice to you guys? This one off to the side. We're gonna go ahead and try this asteroid right here. I can't tell if it has ice on it, but it looks a little bit like a blue tinge over there. So there might be something. The alien planet's right there, by the way. We're pretty darn close to it. I think you can find any seeds on asteroids, but we'll try. All right, this is what I was looking at. I don't see any ice as I'm pulling up to it, but this is what I thought I saw a little bit of blue on just this side over here. So maybe as we get close to it, maybe we'll see that there's some ice, in fact, or maybe we'll see that there's none. I don't know. Oh man, the snowstorm is so large compared to this asteroid. I'm not seeing any ice. Dampeners on here. We do see some nickel, actually. That is something that we could use. A little bit of nickel would help us. I mean, we needed it a lot more in the last few episodes, but yeah, we might as well grab some while we're here. All right, so there was some nickel over here, and we have some magnesium as well. So that's a pretty good amount of stuff already. nickel and magnesium. I heard someone say that only 2 to 3 ores can spawn on an asteroid. I'm not entirely sure if that's true. All right, we're gonna refit this real quick. So refit that for some drills, and then we can get out there with the barista. Now the drills, there are new drills as of the latest update. There's the drill type 2, which are gonna look like this. Boom, one right there and one right there. Let's get those drills built up. I'm gonna use these type 2 drills instead of the type 1 ones, just to see what they are. There's these bucket drills is pretty much what they are. They look pretty cool. Some people said they looked like they were inspired from the from Space Engineers 2. I don't know how true that is, but they are pretty cool looking. Okay, let's go ahead and get out here, and we'll try to very sneakily exit right there. If we can just get past this. Oh, we broke something. What did we break something on? Did we break something on you? Okay, whatever. It's probably fine. Let's continue. Oh, we had an ore. Did we not have an ore detector on this? All right, well, we're gonna add an ore detector then, and the ore detector we're gonna use is going to be the new ore detector, which is this one right here, and we're gonna put it somewhere cool. There we go, little ore detector. It's nice and animated, and we're going to let that be, we're gonna let that help us out because that's gonna tell us where that nickel is. It should have been somewhere over here. Oh, it's over there. Okay, perfect. I think we're gonna grab a full load of this nickel, and then we're going to head off because I don't think we need too much of it. We just need, you know, a load full of it. There we go. Check that out. Now, this being a DLC block, it doesn't actually mine any faster as far as I'm aware. It just looks a little different as it does. All right, that's pretty much a full load of nickel, so let's go ahead and head home. And I while I was mining, I thought of an idea of how I can actually give the Falcon a little bit of ice. So what we're gonna do is we're going to connect to the Falcon, and we're gonna push it into the connector, just so that we can actually get it connected. And once it's connected, its tanks are gonna go on to stockpile mode, which will allow it to actually get ice, which should help us out a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that just so we can actually use the Falcon and move it around instead of it being kind of forced to sit there. So we're gonna get this in position. Make sure that we're in third person here so we can see where we're going. I'm just gonna bring it in right here like that. And then what we're gonna do is on the front of the Falcon, we're gonna grab a couple blocks, a couple steel plate blocks like that. And we're gonna build ourselves like a little place you can latch onto. So something like this. And now with that, we should be able to go ahead and connect. So those are ready. Let's go ahead and press number 3. Perfect. Now that it's connected, we can, just like we were doing with the Prototech blocks when we wanted to move those, we can go ahead and remove that, remove that, remove that, remove these. And we can move it back into that position where it will not be able to connect because I have not thought this through. The connector is in fact on the bottom. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna bring it around this way. We have a connector on the bottom over here. It's no matter, we can still make this work. It's just gonna take a little bit of doing. Okay, we have it positioned above the area we want it to go, but we can't put it down easily like that, so we're gonna have to assess here real quick. So let's press number 4 to disconnect, then we'll go up like that, and then we'll go ahead and reposition ourselves here real quick. Now, I should probably not have done this when the ship is full of stuff, making it very heavy, but it should be fine. We just need to reposition ourselves on top right here, and we'll be able to get it into the, why do we have a small grid? Oh, that's the antenna, okay. We'll be able to get it into the area that we need it to go. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it down. Make sure our hand is on number 3, so we can hit it real quick. There we go, we have it. Okay, we have it with one of them, but that's fine. All right, let's get this in position. Why is everything like surgery in this later part of the series? All right, let's go ahead and lock that. There we go. And now, if I look at the Falcon, it should be, yes, okay, so the hydrogen is replenishing. You see it going up right there in the bottom right. Perfect, all right. So now we can remove all this stuff that we added just so that we could cargo it. And we can actually get this ship working. Very nice. Remove this stuff too. Awesome. Okay, and in fact, that turret right there is broken. I don't know where it's gone. But now that we have that out of the way, we can actually move and get this thing connected back in its rightful spot. Only partially competent driver coming through. Watch out, everybody. All right, let's connect right here. Number 9, perfect. Let's make sure all of our cargo is gone. So I'm gonna hide empty right there. Storage. And let's bring everything in here so that we're no longer a full ship. All right, perfect. Let's close the doors and we can start heading back over to the alien planet. There we go, that's closing, and let's get up there. I'll eat a little kelp crisp on the way, because I'm a little famished. There we go, and we're back on our way. And while it would have been nice to find some ice, we don't necessarily need it at the moment. Let's just get over here to the alien planet. We're not gonna go for very long. Our entire goal is just to find some seeds so that we can come back and get our farm going. And I don't know which seeds spawn on the alien planet. I know mushrooms do, but I'd like to find just a couple seeds. So let's get ourselves at a nice speed right here, and then we can coast our way over to the planet. Haven't seen any Armageddon ships around us, which is very good. Looks like they may have backed off after that last encounter. I do see some Ember ships flying around. Dangerous parallax encounter even. And then of course the unknown signals, which we'll get back to, or the unidentified signals, which we'll get back to going to after we have some seeds. Wait a second, what happened to my other railgun? One of my railguns is completely missing out from the front. Here, let me eat another kelp crisp real quick. Yeah, what in tarnation happened to my railgun? Over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they are all here. By the way, I'm thinking one of these is probably what caused the issue, having these here. Now, we were able to do a test fire the first, like with one of them, but it's possible that maybe while in motion, it doesn't work as well. I don't know. Why are you not? You're on. Wait, why are you not showing a thing? Hang on, this might not be connected properly. Yeah, so you're connected to you, but you're not fully connected up. Okay, so let me hop inside here from the bottom, and let's see if I can get that connection working. Oh, I see the problem. Wait, how did this happen? All right, this should work now. I'll turn it off and on. Yeah! Oh my gosh! Okay, rookie mistake. Let me go and refill. Oh man. Okay, rookie mistake. Standing in front of a lit hydrogen thruster. That's a bit too crazy, even for me. All right, let's go up to the top here. We should be getting a little bit close to the alien planet here, and I don't want to go in to the gravity with this guy. I only want to go in orbit, and then we'll take the Falcon all the way down. Yep, you're still fully pressurized, which is what I like to see. Close that, and let's get up here. I don't actually know what gravity the alien planet is, by the way. I guess we'll find out, but I know it's not more than 1. It might even be less. It's probably 1G though. But yeah, I've never actually been down to the alien planet, which is a little bit crazy. Well, actually, that's a lie. I've been down to it one time, but not in a survival setting. It was just, I just kind of went down to it to see what it was. So this will be the first time I'm dropping down in a survival setting, and a first time for sure in years. So this will be very interesting. As we're getting rather close, I'd like to probably start slowing down a little bit. I probably don't want to be going much faster than 150 here, just to be safe. There we go, 150, perfect. All right, and we shouldn't have to worry too much because we have that event controller, which is going to tell us when we get into the P gravity. So we can probably just chill here, and look out the window without worrying too much. I wish I could actually see out these windows. I mean, you can. You can see a beautiful little Mars over there, an Earth-like planet even. And then, but we can't see where we're heading. We can't see the alien planet, which is a little scary, considering it's that large. Wait, we're in P gravity. Hang on, and our thing didn't trigger. Maybe it's more than 0.5. Let me see. You, sir, did not trigger. What's going on? Input 0.6. Action slot 1. Yeah, then action slot 1 should. Where's my oh, it's right there. Gravity detection. Play. Why didn't you play? Okay, I don't know why that didn't play. It didn't work. Our cool idea. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn these dampeners on, and we're gonna stop ourselves just outside the gravity well, and we're going to just hang out here. We're gonna let the Falcon do the mission. All right, coming to a stop, and once we come to a stop, we're going to just go a little bit higher, so we're out of the P gravity, so that we don't have to use any stuff. I mean, we could just turn on the ions and they probably would keep us stationary here, but we'd be using power the entire time. So let's go ahead and hit our space bar so we can start heading out of the P gravity. And once we're at 0, we can just kind of let the ship stay there and it should be okay. Oh, Survivor level 4. Oh my gosh, man, we're going through these, but you just wait. The next combat encounter we have, it's gonna be rough, because when we die, we're gonna lose all these nice buffs to our maximum health, our welding speed, grinding speed, movement speed, and oxygen consumption. All right, we're still trying to get out of the gravity here. We're almost there at 0.06 P gravity. Just a little bit more, and we should be able to get out of the gravity here. There we go. Okay, we're completely out of P gravity, so I'm just gonna let it come to a stop here. A little bit of kelp crisp before we go, I think, is a good idea. And in fact, I should probably bring a little bit of kelp crisp with me as well. This mission shouldn't take that long. We're only going down to grab, you know, some stuff. I mean, if we can find some ice as well, that'd be good. But we're only going down to grab seeds and that sort of thing. So let's go over into our little farm. We're gonna go across the area into this area. We're gonna check out how much kelp crisp we have. Oh, 11 kelp crisp. That is a beautiful sight. All right, let's head down and get inside the Falcon and get ready to go. We shouldn't need much. I'm gonna take a gun with me. I'm gonna take some ammo. And other than that, I think we should be good. Maybe if we have power kits, because we will not have a respawn. Take some Clang Cola as well. Clang Cola, by the way, does have nutritional value now. It's only 3%, and it also does health, which is good. All right, with that, I think we're good to go. We've got med kits and everything that we would possibly need. So let's go ahead and exit out this way. We're gonna head on board the Falcon. We're not bringing much. We're not even gonna have a respawn kit, which is what's dangerous. Because if we respawn, it will not be very easy to go and get our stuff again. So we need to not die, basically. All right, the Falcon should be completely ready to go though. So let's, I guess let's get going. Let's press number 9, go up. And we have storage, right? What does this have? Cockpit, assault cannon, autocannon. Got a connector for storage, and it's got a couple cargo containers as well. So that is perfect. That should be everything we need. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the last known location of the AMG Snowstorm as well, or the Solarstorm. Make it nice and green. We don't need it for now, but we will need it later. All right, let's go ahead and start our way down here. We don't have a crazy amount of hydrogen. We only have the amount of hydrogen that's on board this Falcon. And everybody say goodbye to the AMG Snowstorm. We're going fast, good Lord. We're going 300 already. Okay, we need to be a little bit careful. We don't have a parachute hatch on this thing, but it should be fine. I'm gonna let us coast all the way down to the planet. The Falcon is just really fast. I think that's what's going on here. The Falcon is insanely speedy. Okay, as we come toward the ground here, we'll start to slow down. And I think, yeah, let's let ourselves come down here. Hopefully this doesn't end up in another crash situation, as all of our planet landings seem to do. You know what I did not bring is any oxygen or hydrogen bottles, which could be a problem. I don't know if there's oxygen on this planet. I guess we'll find out. Luckily, we do have oxygen inside this ship, and I believe we have oxygen. Nope. Oh shoot, we have an O2H2 generator, which means finding ice is going to be very important because we do not have any oxygen tanks. That's a problem. All right, well, we know what we need to do. What is that right there? That almost looks like a camera. Oh no, it's just, okay, I thought it was like a mud pit or something. Interesting, but there is ice over here, so never mind. Getting ice won't be that bad. Should actually be pretty easy. This is such a bizarre looking planet. Like this almost looks like a Pride rock sort of thing, but and I wonder if we're gonna find any of those planetary encounters, by the way, because they did add a bunch of new planetary encounters. So we're gonna let our dampeners do some work here. We want to be slower than 100, I think, because our P gravity is starting to go up to about 1, which is gonna be a little bit fast for us. But it looks like the P gravity is 1.1 G on the alien planet, which is something that I didn't know. Keep an eye on our altitude there. It's at 2,300 meters. Gonna keep kind of toggling dampeners on and off till we get to the ground, and we're about at 1,500 here. Turn those back on. Just under 1,000 now. Now's where we want to be looking for a landing spot right here. So we do have the ice down there, which is going to be very valuable for us, especially if there's no oxygen on this planet. So let's go ahead and kind of come in over here and look for a good place to land. Now, anywhere over here is going to be good to land, I think. And we're going to be looking for seeds, which I think we should be able to find pretty easily as well. Man, the ground is very bumpy on the alien planet, huh? Okay, let's come down right here. I see some orange-looking plants right there, or some purple-looking plants right there. See that right there? I wonder what is in there. Okay, let's come in for landing. And we're gonna hop out and see if this planet kills us, basically. And we have touchdown. Let's go ahead and turn off our dampeners there and hop out. Okay, no oxygen, and it's freezing. Okay, this planet is not very kind to us, it seems like. That's not good, because we don't have a lot in the way of survivability here. We do have this. We can always hop in here, and that's going to give us back our power and stuff, but we don't have a survival kit on here, and we don't have any means to make one or anything like that. So what we could potentially do is, I know there are planetary encounters, so if one spawns, we could go take it on, and that would probably give us like some way to build a survival kit or something like that. But other than that, we're gonna have to kind of stay near our ship this entire time. Let's go ahead and eat a kelp crisp. All right, let's explore. So we have these purple bushes. I don't know what these are. I guess these aren't anything you can collect. Do we have okay, we do have an antenna on this, which is very good for us. I want to start looking for some mushrooms maybe, because I know they spawn on this area. In fact, this might even be one right there. Yeah, we have some mushrooms already. So if we press F on these, it's gonna give us a single mushroom, which we can eat. It's gonna give us a fill value of 6. But we don't, you know, it's better if we plant it. With one mushroom, I think we probably want to try and find a couple more. So let's look a little bit more around here. I love the grass, by the way. It's all very curly and stuff. Very cool. Very neat looking grass. I wonder if the other seed types spawn on this planet as well. I know what else spawns on this planet. I do know there are some hostile things. Here's some stuff. Some goodies. There we go. Maybe we can fly around, but again, I don't really want to fly around. I don't have a bottle or anything. Is there a storm going on right now? Do you hear that? What's that? Oh, that looks like more mushrooms. Perfect. Give me the mushrooms. We're gonna have just a mushroom farm. All we're gonna be farming is mushrooms because we don't have any of the other seeds, but I'm sure we'll find them eventually. We just need to actually find an encounter or something like that. Ew, it's like gooey on the ground. Do you hear that? It's like a squishy sound. Also, there are like alien birds, I guess. I hear like a boop, 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 or something like that. Very creepy. Ooh, there are a lot of creepy sounds going on. Do you hear that? Oh, the alien planet is scary. What? There's like hissing and bird sounds and I don't know, creepy stuff. When we find one more mushroom, I'll take one more mushroom. Yeah, I think 3 mushrooms is all we're gonna get right here. So let's head back into the Falcon, and what I want to do is fly a little bit along the area to see if I can spot anything, because we have plenty of hydrogen left inside the Falcon, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. And I'd love to see if like an encounter spawns as well, because I know there are new encounters that do spawn as well. So let's hop inside. All of our stuff's gonna replenish. Let's turn on our thrusters and let's kind of go this way. I want to go toward the light actually. Where's the sun? Sun's that way. We're gonna go toward the sun. Because I don't want to... Oh my god, look how fast the Falcon is. Oh man, the Falcon is so fast. We're just gonna fly low along this and kind of head in this direction. Maybe I should have gotten some ice back there, I don't know. But I want to go where the light is. And it looks like there's ice down there anyway, so we're gonna stop down there. Unless, is that not ice? Let's... Man, we're going real fast. Let's go ahead and slow down here. Why are we going so fast? Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on, whoa. What was going on? Why were we going so fast? Okay, we broke the Falcon. The Falcon is still flyable, but we definitely broke it. Yeah, we have our thrusters in the back, so that's good, but we lost some stuff on the front. Some of the weapons, for instance, the main weapon also. We're still good. We're not like crashed to the point where we can't take off anymore. But I don't know why. I think maybe it's because I was aiming down and trying to use the forward thrust to slow down at first. But the backward thrust does not take over as much as I wanted it to. That was crazy. All right, well, we're stuck here now. I mean, not really, actually. I could go to that Ember thing. We're just a little bit... Do we have thrust on the left and right? We do. There's thrust on the left. There's thrust on the right. What we're missing, though, is thrust in the front. And the only reason we're missing that is because you're not connected for some reason. Why are you not connected? You're not connected because of this. Must have been something like this right here. Okay, these are the 2 things that we're missing in order to get our forward thrust active. Now, we could potentially go toward that Ember scouting post over there and find out what that has to offer, because we can still fly. We just can't aim. What's that? Oh, there's a random block down there. Hang on. I can actually go ahead and grab that and maybe use it. Hey, random block. Thank you very much. There's another random block over here. Okay, we're gonna have to be very careful while we're flying, but I'm thinking if I go to that Ember scouting thing, that might actually be something that I can handle. It's just a scouting outpost, so that should be good. We still don't have thrust on the front, but if it's down in this valley, maybe I can do something about it. Okay, we're coming in very slowly, but the scouting outpost should be on the other side of this. And we have rain, by the way, happening to us. It's not great. We're gonna be within range as soon as we pop around this corner. And we don't have any forward-facing thrust, so if I aim forward, we're gonna start going down. Just trying to be very cautious as I come around this thing. Whoa! Okay, the cannons are firing. That's fine. I'm okay with this. Let's hit that. That should be the main threat right there. Yep, that's down. They're firing at something else, though. They're firing at power blocks. I'm fine turning off the thrusters, right? Or the auto cannons. But what we need to find is wherever those the dampener things are, the inhibitors are. Because they're probably somewhere. And also there might be soldiers in here, which I need to be very cautious about. Okay, so let's approach this. And we're gonna be cautious as we approach this. Because if they're, oh gosh, okay, hang on. Chill. If there are soldiers in here, they could absolutely kill us very quickly. That looks like something I might want to take out, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. It might already be out, but I don't know. That looks like an inhibitor. So I'm not gonna take any chances. And then is there a soldier in here? Is the next question. Okay, let's move around. If there's a turret, we're gonna take it out really quickly. Okay, understandable. Have a nice day. Here, let's hit it right here. There we go, it's out. So it had 2 turrets on it. Oh, hit that so we slow down, because there's no other way to slow down easily. And then we need to watch out for inhibitors. That looks like the other inhibitor right there. So let's shoot that until it blows up, or until it, disables. Perfect, and then there's probably a soldier in here if I had to guess. If there's a seat, there's a soldier is basically how it works. So let's go ahead and hop out. Make sure that there's no personnel inhibitor field. I'm gonna take out this gun because we only have 1 life. Okay, no, that's fine, that's just the rain. We only have 1 life. There's a turret in there. There's no soldier. I wanna break in. I'm gonna hit that, and then I'm gonna take my gun out just in case a soldier pops out. But it doesn't look like any soldiers popping out. Let's go ahead and break in. Okay, we're good. Okay, I'm just trying to get out of the rain here. All right, and let's take this thing out. Being very cautious because there is no respawn for us. Oh man. Ow, the rain. There we go, it's out. Perfect, and there was no soldier. The soldier would have been right here. He's not there, and actually there would have been one right there as well in the seat, but there are none, so we are good. Did you have anything in here? Yes, you had some stuff right there. What about the lockers? Let's go ahead and break into these. The lockers give us some hydrogen bottles. Very good, that's exactly what we need. And then we'll break into these. Perfect. I want to break into these lockers as well. We're looking for seeds. That's the big thing that we want, but some credits aren't going to be that bad, and we can check to see if there's anything else, but it looks like it's just a couple bottles and stuff like that. Okay. Well, what's very nice is that I can use a lot of this stuff to repair the ship. What do you have in you? Oh, Ember communication record. Social broadcast, Jeremy Banks. Ember, social nexus. Inhibitor critics. Message, you're never gonna believe this. Do you remember a while back when we outfitted most of our fleet with those new inhibitor modules to deter pirate attacks? They've been pretty effective, but that's not the crazy part. We've actually been receiving mail and other communications from the pirates complaining about how hard it is to steal our assets now. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pirate. Please give us a moment to disable all security and invite you on board. We even have a table waiting for you. Is that what they expected us to reply with? If nothing else, the complaints make for entertaining reading with the morning cosmic coffee. That's really funny. That's really funny because that is how it is. Like, they're not talking about pirates, of course. They're talking about players because players complain, and I've complained as well. Oh, these inhibitor fields are so hard. They're so hard to deal with. It's kind of funny imagining it from their perspective. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and seal a bunch of stuff and use it to rebuild the ship that we so rudely damaged. We might take a little bit of damage from the caustic rain, but there we go. We at least have forward-facing thrusters now. And I'm probably going to stay inside until the rain ends because we are taking damage and there's no way to replenish that except for the med kits that we have, which I'll go ahead and use one, by the way, so that we get our health back. And we're at 37% food, so might as well go ahead and eat a meal pack as well. Let's see if there's anything inside this container. Yeah, lots of ammo and autocannon, which we can certainly use. Oh, beautiful ice. Oh my gosh, some ice that we can use as well. That's amazing. What is that? I don't know what that, I think that's just a tree. But anyways, with all that, I think this is where we're gonna end the episode. We've successfully managed to navigate our way to the alien planet. We were able to land with the Falcon, which we built up in this episode, and we were able to grab mushrooms as well. We're going to spend the next episode probably going around looking for encounters on this planet, and then after that, it'll be right back up to space where we'll set up that farm. But at least for now, I'd like to chill here and catch my bearings, maybe scrap a couple of these things, and let the rain go away because it's caustic and it hurts me. It's damaging. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna be the end of this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit of an interesting episode, a little bit of building, a little bit of action, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But if you did enjoy it, please go ahead and drop a like. If you didn't, drop a dislike. If you're not subscribed yet, this is episode 52. It's probably about time. But anyways, if you'd like to become a YouTube member or Patreon, there are links below in the description where you can get your name in the end credits, you can get early access to videos, and you can even get a shout out at the end of the videos. So the people we're gonna shout out at the end of this one are Azrael, Queen Danny, and WTC 2014. Thank you very much for your support, and thanks everyone who's watching these for your support as well. It really does mean a lot. And with that, I will see you all in the next episode of Space Engineers Survival Alien Planet Edition. See you guys.